Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Joy Show, where joy is just one you, where we talk about and share stories, inspiring stories of people's lives and how they got where they are or do what they do. And we celebrate each unique individual. And I want to begin with a land acknowledgement. We work, live, and play on the historical and traditional territory of many First Nations. And as we gather on Turtle Island, we as settlers are grateful for the opportunity to meet here. And we thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands and thousands of years, including, but not limited to, the Métis, Inuit, and all other Indigenous people. And also acknowledging that as we grow and expand on these lands, there is still unresolved and dangerous inequality and discrimination toward our BIPOC and 2S LGBTQ plus family. And by making these acknowledgments, we strive to be allies and we take an active part, and I do mean active, you got that right, active part in reconciliation. We have to really acknowledge this. We recognize our oneness, we realize our history, and we choose to create a new reality because we are one. And today I am here at the Unity Convention in Overland Park, Kansas, and I have with me the most remarkable guest today. Summer Osborne is a fabulous singer in the New Thought movement. She's brilliant, she's creative, she's dynamic, and what she has to offer, frankly, is next level. She touched my life deeply last year when I was at convention. I had a healing during the time that she sang, the message, the prayers, the combination of the three things created a healing in my life. And I'm so excited that she's here today with us. Welcome, Summer.
Hi.
Oh, I'm so glad to see you again. What a joy you are. Tell me a
Oh,
little
thank
bit
you.
about your life, your journey.
Oh, my journey or my life?
Well, a little bit of both.
Okay. So, let's see. Goodness gracious, how do you start with that? Tell me
Goodness,
about journey. Okay, so
always fire.
my mother was a music teacher.
Yeah.
And my first music teacher.
I'll bet. Yeah.
And she's the one who said, "Here's a microphone. Here's a stage." I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
And sat me up on top of a piano so everybody in the back could see me, and that was my first solo.
Oh,
And
nice.
that's pretty much how I came up with, I stage addiction mostly.
Yeah.
I loved it. I never not loved it. It's always
Yeah.
been a very comfortable place for me. And
It
she
shows.
put me in every single something that I could be in. We're a very small town in Vandalia, Illinois.
Yeah.
Very white Anglo-Saxon Protestant farming community.
Well, you gotta love that.
And
It's Pride Month, and we're proud of it.
I know, right? But she put me in every little, county fair, talent show, and church musicals and all that kind of, and school musicals and stuff. And I always wanted to be a musician, a rock star, like a Whitney Houston. That's what I would do in my room with my hairbrush. Want to dance with somebody. And I started I've been writing my own music since I was very small on the piano. I play by ear. I can't read music.
Yeah.
And I just played and played and played by myself to the point where my parents moved the piano into my bedroom.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Because I was kind of annoying probably. And I was the only one who played it, so, and I just played it all the time. I started writing my own stuff just out of college. Yeah, when I came out,
Yeah.
and I taught myself the guitar because I played the piano, but it's hard to, carry a piano around with you everywhere. So I taught myself the guitar. My mother
Yeah.
played the guitar as well, and started writing my own stuff, which was also very, very activisty, right? Because I just come out
Right.
and I
Hmm.
moved to St. Louis from my town to find a community, and
Yes.
and realized that there was a community, and I
Hmm.
did have a place, and I
How did
was,
your parents take it when you came out? Like,
you know what? I have I'm so privileged.
hmm,
And I'm sorry, my phone is kind of messed up. It's on a pillow.
that's okay.
Um, they, I am so lucky, just privileged to be in the family that I ended up in. My parents are way more progressive than they technically should be
Oh,
because they were
nice.
born and raised there as well, in the same
Yeah.
place, and my grandparents. So when I came out, they were like, "We kind of been waiting for you to say something." Because I was 13 wearing men's clothing because I
Yeah.
remember going to Famous Bar with my mom. She loved to
Yeah.
shop. I hated shopping.
Yeah.
And she just wanted me to love it, right? And I'm just
Of
like,
course.
no. And the Famous Bar was a big round circle, and all the departments were in this circle. And I'm going around bored out of my
Yes.
mind. And I
Yeah.
start walking, and all of a sudden I discover this area, and I'm like, oh, I like that shirt. I like those shorts. I like, my mom
Yeah.
comes around and she's like, what are you doing? Did you find something you like? I'm like, yeah, I like all these things. And she's like, oh, we're in the young men's section. And instantly I was like, oh, I need to put this stuff back. But she was like, we'll
Mm,
pick out a couple things and let's go to lunch. And I was like,
nice.
okay. And from then on, oh, my phone's going to fall. Hold on. Got it. And from then on, I just wore men's clothes. It was comfortable to me. I still didn't know. It did not occur to me that I was a lesbian.
Yeah.
I didn't have language for it, from the
No.
place I was.
Yeah.
And so, but they were just like, no, she's who she is. Let's just let her be, I guess.
Oh, I
I
love
don't
that.
know all the ins and outs of it, I guess, but they never, ever made me feel like it was anything less than what I was supposed to be. And,
Being unique and special.
I came out and they were like, yeah, cool. And they would come to the gay bars to hear me sing. My mom would come to Pride. My sister would bring the kids. Like
Yeah.
my family's very supportive. And so that's phenomenal.
It is.
So I did it all backwards because I was teaching myself the guitar. I was writing music and just playing at my friend's house,
Yeah.
you know, just for fun. And I was teaching in St. Louis, teaching special ed.
Mhm.
And my friend called me in my classroom one day and was like, oh, because the school that I worked at had gotten brand new Macs. And
Mm.
what came standard with those Macs was this brand new program called GarageBand.
Garage band, love it.
And this was circa 2005 or 4 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so the computer teacher was like, bring up your guitar. I want to try out this program. And you're the only one, because I would bring my guitar to school every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I brought my guitar up. We just started recording little stuff, not knowing even how to use the program. We didn't even have the right equipment. Like it was not a great recording, but it was just
Of
fun to play with.
course. Yeah.
So my friends called me in my classroom one day and was like, we know you're recording at school. Have your stuff ready by May 14th because we've booked a venue and you're going to have a CD release. I was like, what? And they're
Yeah.
like,
I'm
yeah.
doing what?
So they got the venue. I started recording stuff. My mom showed up at my house with 100 blank CDs and
Yeah.
jewel cases.
Oh.
And my friend who worked at Kinko's made the CD cover. Like I designed it, but he printed it and cut it specifically for me. And my friends came over and we were burning and printing CDs, 100 of them for my first CD release. This is the first time I ever played out was a CD release. I'd never played live out in front of people ever.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. I
So
love
I
that.
have my CD release. It's packed. I sold out of my CDs, and that was that. Like I had my first CD release, and then they're St. Louis Pride's calling me, going, "You need to come play at Pride," and
Oh,
it just kind of blew up from there. And
it's
I won't say
funny.
blow up. I mean, it's been a long time. I've been doing it a
Yeah,
while.
yeah. But it's like having those people believe in you and going, "Hey, Summer, here's what we got to do,"
Oh
and
yeah.
just being that, maybe that wind beneath your wings sort of thing, that little push
Oh,
that
definitely.
goes, "You got to do it now because we set it up, so you can't
Yeah.
say no."
You don't have an option. They're
All
like,
options have been
they told
removed.
me, they were like, it's all great that you come to our house and sing and stuff, but what if you get hit by a truck tomorrow and you die and all that goes with you? And I was like, that's morbid, but I get it. Okay. You know.
Oh my gosh, I love that, and I love the idea of the guitar. I have an 18-year-old daughter who's a musician, and like you, she was first on stage at age 4, but she was during COVID. Her aunties, uh, wanted to give her a birthday gift, so she goes, "Well, what I really want is a guitar." And she played a little bit of piano, mainly as a vocalist, but she had been learning piano first and then kind of pushed that aside. And then she got this guitar. And as soon as she got it, she sat down and started going, "I think I can figure this out." And she just started fiddling with it and now plays guitar and piano and does
Oh
vocals and
yeah.
music. And
Once you
yeah,
get
it's,
bit, once you get bit by the bug, that's
mm,
all I did when I sat down with that. And
I
you know what?
love it.
I had wanted to play the guitar, and I told my mom I want to learn how to play the guitar, and she's like, "All you
Yeah,
have to do, Summer, is learn 3 or 4 chords, and you can play almost anything." And she tried to teach
absolutely.
me, and I was like, "It hurts my fingers, and my fingers gonna bleed. I can't do it. I can't do it." And then she just one day handed me one of her guitars. It's like, "Here, take this. You'll figure it out.
You'll figure it
Eventually,
out.
you'll figure it out." And it sat in my apartment for months. And one day, I walked out of my bedroom and I looked at that guitar and I thought, "Okay, I think I can do it. I think I can figure this out." And I sat down, like I had to wait for the spirit to move me.
We
You
usually
know,
do.
I had to wait. And when I sat down with it, it was like I couldn't put it down. And my girlfriend at the time, which is my girlfriend now, actually, um, she would leave for work. She's a nurse, and she would do a night shift. And she'd leave for work, and I'd be sitting on the couch with that guitar. She'd come home the next morning. She's like, "Are you still
Still
sitting
sitting on
there?"
the couch.
And I'm like, "Yes, yes, I am." And my feet are asleep. Like,
I love that.
but
That's that true passion
yeah.
for music, because I watch my daughter do that, where like she's singing and doing music all the time. The house is never quiet, and she got to sing at Pride this year at a Pride service for MCC Toronto. So
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
she was really, really excited about that. And I think, when you get opportunities as a youth, when people go, "Hey, I see you and what you're doing is beautiful," I think that's such great inspiration. I'm just so happy for you. So how did
Oh,
you get into
thanks.
Unity? Like, tell me about your Unity
Oh,
experience. How
funny.
did that happen?
I was playing a house concert in Phoenix, Arizona,
Yeah.
and I got done with my show, and this woman comes up to me and she's like, "You're a unitic, aren't you?" And I was like,
What's a Unitic?
"I don't know. I don't think so, because I don't know what that is." And she's like, "You're serious? You've never heard of Unity Church?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't go to church.
I don't do that. Yeah.
I don't do that." Because, I was raised Southern Baptist, and they don't like the
Oh, yeah.
gays.
They don't
And
like the
they,
gays. That's
they
true.
asked me to leave when I was 19 when I came out.
Oh my God.
And I spent a lot of years being very bitter about that.
Hmm. That takes some recovery.
Um, so I was like, "Yeah, no, no, mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I don't do churches. We're not doing that." And they were like, "Are you sure you're perfect?" And I'm like, "I'm gay. Did you not get it?" And they're like, "We are too." And I was like, "I don't understand."
So
Like,
how can you be gay in that church? It doesn't go
right.
together.
How are you not smite down? Like,
Yeah.
so I looked into it and I was like, "Oh, I could try that. A gig's a gig." I think the
Yeah.
first Unity church I played was Des Moines, Iowa, I think.
Yeah.
And I just bawled. the entire service. I was like, I had no idea that these places existed. I had no idea. And it fit, you know, it just fit.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I've been saying. This is
Yeah.
what I've been looking for. This is it. And it just from then on, I just, I'll find a Unity. I might reach out to them, or sometimes they reach out to me. But I've played Unities all over the United States now. And of course, then the convention this year. So that's
I'm so
basically how I
glad.
did it. I mean, it just fits.
Yeah.
It is the perfect fit.
That's what I love about the whole New Thought movement is that, the teaching is that there's one thing going on and we're all some part of it. And everyone is created unique and special. Everyone is perfect, whole, and complete. And however you choose to live, there's 8 billion people on the planet. There's 8 billion ways of being.
Mm-hmm.
And when we accept that we're all unique and special,
Mm-hmm.
it just changes the game. I love that. I mean, I would have loved to have had this message when I was a teenager, but
No, seriously. Yeah.
seriously, because when I was a teenager, I had never heard of a lesbian, and so
Me
I'm like,
either.
okay, well, you gotta date boys because that's the law, that's the rule, that's the
Yeah.
norm,
That's the
you know.
unspoken rule.
Yeah. And now I sit back and go, well, I identify as bisexual, and I'm married to a man who is a great wife, and I just, yeah, I'm fortunate. I can do my ministry because he's the one who's, cooking and cleaning, and when our baby was born. He was the one who was stay-at-home dad, and I continued to work, and I breastfed in public.
There you
Go
go.
figure. It's like you could do what you got to do. Breastfeeding is not natural, but it was, it's that coming to terms with who I am, because at the time, the fact that I was interested in women was bad and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, what's wrong with me? There's something weird here, and being able to sit back today and go, no, there's nothing weird about this.
Right.
Um, but even being able to talk to my husband about it, which was like a few weeks ago. It's
Really?
serious. And it's my youngest daughter who, as she told me when she was like 9 or 10, identifies queer. And I went, okay, that's great. And, we would talk, and then I think she asked me, oh, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago, like she said, well, what about you? Are you cisgender? Like, what's the deal? And I went, no, I would be bisexual for sure. And she's like, oh, oh.
Really?
She goes,
Really?
she goes, not surprised.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think, and, I had somebody on like a week or so ago, last week or the week before, who was talking about gender fluid,
Mm-hmm.
and the idea that really this he, she thing is, it's a very limited viewpoint of we as humans. I think we really are the all of it. And
Oh
even if
yeah.
we go, you go back to the book of Genesis, Adam and Eve were not like two people who procreated and created humanity. This is
Right.
the masculine and feminine. It is the two aspects of being which are one. And,
Yeah.
I look at that and go, no, 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 no. Adam and Eve are just me,
Yeah.
the divine in me or whatever. So, yeah, unity. I'm an ordained unity minister, but also an ordained CSL minister.
Oh, okay,
I
cool.
got
Very
both.
cool.
Double ordained, double rev.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like super uber minister.
Super Uber. Yeah, exactly. But it's like, coming to terms with who we are, and however, I mean, I'm a senior citizen here, and finally being able to say out loud that I'm queer. It's like
Yeah.
that took a lifetime, and I think, what would life have been like? And I don't regret my life. It was hell, and now it's beautiful, and but that hell brought me to what's beautiful, and
Mhm.
to a place of self acceptance. So you just got there earlier.
Well, I'm still with the sexuality, yeah, because I had a lot of support. There was less for me to fight.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But with a lot of other things, I'm still working hard on that.
Yeah.
That self-work, that's the hardest work, trying to figure out
Yeah.
who I am, and then got reintroduced to the whole thing during the pandemic, because that
Yeah.
pandemic really messed me up.
Oh, really, eh?
Really messed me up. Yeah. I just woke up one day and it was like my whole career was just ripped out from under me.
Yeah.
And, nobody on the planet is playing live. No one.
No one.
So we have to try to use the internet. It's
Didn't
all
work
we
so well.
had. Well, then I was like, well, who the heck is gonna come to Facebook Live and tune into me when Melissa Etheridge is on Facebook Live right now, right? Or the Indigo Girls is on live right now.
I would.
So
Your message is
who?
what
Well,
matters.
yeah, okay, but like
Yeah. No, I
and
get it.
all my shows are canceled, and at first, we tried to be really positive about it, and was going to be like, well, maybe a few weeks, maybe a couple months,
Yeah.
but then when I realized it was going to be a
Years.
long time, I was like, what the f?
Yeah.
I was a mess, because then I realized I'd wrapped my whole identity up in my career.
Yeah.
My entire identity, who I was, everything, my focus, my energy, everything in my life. Even my family knew, we'll call Summer on the kids' birthdays and stuff, but she won't be here because she's on the road.
Yeah.
She's doing her thing. Um,
Mm.
Everything was geared towards it. And that was who I was to me.
Yeah.
And so then I had to figure out, well, who the heck am I?
There you go.
Who
That's the
who
gift of
who am
COVID.
I when I ain't trying to be somebody?
Yeah.
You know,
Who am I without the applause?
hmm
Hmm.
I had equated my worth with, I was letting others determine my worth
Yes.
through likes and comments and video views and the
Mm.
dollar amount that I could get, because it was all donation,
Yeah. Yeah.
and everybody's struggling, and I knew that. But then when I'd have a show and it was like only 10 people, and it was like I got like $50, and I was like, I can't make my car payment, and you know, um, that went into my self-worth. Well, I must not be worth it. I got to
Mm.
do better. There's something wrong. I'm in the wrong business, or I got to give it up. You
Yeah.
know, so I decided I guess I'll go to therapy because I got time now. I'm in one place, open can, worms everywhere. Just, oh my gosh, it was
That's
like,
a big goal.
oh no.
Yeah.
And I recognized it. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be going through something. I feel like I'm too old. It was like a midlife, because I turned 46 this year.
Yeah.
Midlife existential crisis.
Yeah.
Totally. Like, am I doing this? Because I had to really get on, really brutally honest with myself
That's the key.
and figure out why I was doing this. Like, I
Hmm.
felt a passion and I felt a purpose, and there's a mission, and it was, bigger than me, and all those words sound good, but am I really? Because I have a picture of my 5-day-old hand that my mother took, and on the back she wrote, she has piano hands. You know,
Mm.
it was just assumed. It was always just assumed. And it was easy for me. Music was easy.
Yeah.
And well, did I do that because that's what I want to do? Or did I do that because that's where I got my positive reinforcement?
Yeah.
That's where I got my accolades. That's how I knew that I was going to be okay, because otherwise I felt ugly and fat, and I was weird. People thought I was weird. I was a little weird. And, um, not popular, which is hard in a small town because you have to have a clique. Because if you're the smelly kid in kindergarten, You're a smelly kid in high school too, no matter what you do with your personal hygiene. Like it just sticks with
That's
you,
the way it is. Yep.
I was
Yep.
not popular, and I was
Nope.
different. I knew I was different, and I didn't exactly know why, but I was. And not just the gay thing, just how I process information. I did not come to the same conclusions everybody did.
Yeah.
Everybody else did. And so, I knew, I realized I knew, like, when it punches you in the gut and everybody else around you would be like, "Oh no, that's not true. That's not true." And I'm like, "No, I'm telling you. I know. I know. I if I could be talented enough and smart enough and funny enough, then people would overlook all the stuff that was wrong with me, and maybe they would be okay with me
Wow.
and get really good at it so you can stand out for it and not because of the other stuff."
Yeah.
And that's absolutely what I did. That's where I was up until the pandemic. Like, I didn't realize it was all subconscious,
Of course. Yeah.
and doesn't and I'm finding now, as I'm coming out of this darker place, that all those things are true. I mean, I am smart and I am talented and I am funny.
Yep.
Um and I don't need any of those things to be worthy.
No.
Um and it just worked out for me that I happen to be talented and funny and smart and whatever. Like, it's okay. You can still be that.
Yeah.
And I am that. I know, but it's weird. It's hard. I don't have a whole lot of language for it quite yet because I'm just coming out of it, where I'm like, well,
Yeah.
here we are, where I have this thought. I woke up the other day and I was like thinking about history of humans in general,
Mm.
and then the layers of ideas of what happens when we're done with this earth suit.
Yeah.
And if this, then that, and what if this, and what if that. And then all of a sudden I realized the deeper you go, the further out you go, I'm like, what is any of this? And anyway, what is this even? So you go back, like, if I believe that I die and I go back to to source,
Yeah.
and maybe at that point, you're one with source, and so at that point you're all knowing. This is kind of where I was going with it, but because
Yeah.
in my head, then what? Then what? Then you come back and do it again. But outside of that, even, what is this?
What is this?
We say space is infinite, but we don't know what that even means.
No, we don't.
No, we've never even been that far. Like, this is where my head goes. I wake up in the morning.
I love it.
That's
I
how it
love it.
happens. And then I'm like, what is this even? What is any of this? What is the encapsulated meaning of it? Like, it's not just what's the meaning of life. It's what's the meaning of everything.
Everything.
Where does this begin and end? Where's like, it's like Horton Hears a Who. Do you ever see that?
Oh yes,
Like,
love
what
it.
if we're a whole universe on the head of a pin, and we're out
Yep.
calling, and Horton Hears a Who? Like, so my brain goes way
I
weird,
love that.
deep.
I love that.
But
That's awesome.
it was like, when I came out of that, I was like, you know what? Maybe none of this really even matters, in a good way.
Yeah.
I don't mean like in a, whoa, almost lost my phone. In a good way. Like, I don't have to worry so much, because it doesn't, ultimately, it's not gonna matter. What I'm doing here right now, as we're here right now, I know matters.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, Summer, you can't mess it up.
You
If you
can't.
can stay true to your heart and authentic, whatever
That's the
happened will
only.
happen. I'm
Yeah.
committed to the unfolding, but it doesn't matter. It's okay.
None of it matters. Oh, I love this. This is going great places. We're going to go to a commercial break, but right before the commercial, a little bit of Summer Osborne's remarkable music. And we'll be back on the New Thought Media Network. This is The Joy Show. Stick around.
I am here, I am home, as I am. I'm safe, serenade. Nothing can make peace like a song. We've got a ways to go, but then we're closer than we've ever been. So let's walk together on and on. I am here, I am whole, as I am. I am safe, I am loved, as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. I'm as perfect as can be. I am here, I am whole, as I am. I propose a family that looks a lot like you and me, including all the people that we love. Then we'll take a photograph of everybody as they laugh, put it in the book entitled Us. I am here, I am whole, as I am. I am safe, I am loved, as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. I am as perfect as can be. I am here, I am whole, as I am. May seem just like a song, may seem just like a thought, but it soon will take hold and become a truth that's taught for generations and generations and generations. I am here, I am whole, as I am. I am safe, I am loved, as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. I'm as perfect as can be. I am here, I am whole, as I am. I am here, I am whole, as I am. I am safe, I am loved, as I am. Oh, just as I am. I am grateful and I am free. I am so grateful. I'm as perfect as can be. There is nothing wrong with me. I am here, I am whole, as I am. Oh, just as I am. I am here, I am whole, as I am.
Watch me change when you change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And we're back here on the Joy Show. And you know what? I love that song, "As I Am," that we
Oh,
just heard. It's absolutely my favorite. And you know, we were talking right before the break, Summer, about, you know, that deep dive into your soul and looking at all the, you know, this is weird about me, or, you know, all of these things, all these ways that we judge aspects of ourselves. And then, you know, coming to that place of going, what if I take all of my weirdness and I mix it with all of the things I love about me, and I
hmm
choose to love all of it, and then I get to show up in this place of, like, when I listen to your music, I see it as devotion. Like I feel it as a
yeah.
devotional, right? Like, as I am. Like I hear that, and you know, it tells me I'm okay to be me. And that's the message you're giving to everybody. And I think your journey over these last few years, that's been your message maybe to you.
For sure. At some point, I realized through the therapy and stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, I wrote these songs for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it. I was trying to leave myself little breadcrumbs, you know?
Yeah. Leading you back home to the
Yeah.
sun.
And I don't know. I'm not sure if, I guess when you know, but I'm not sure if I'm quite there yet. I'm doing lots of work. It's the hardest work I've ever done.
Yeah. Getting
Ever. It's
real with
that self
ourselves
accept.
and stuff.
And that comes from too, like my partner and I have 5 kids.
Oh,
And
nice.
now listen, this isn't they're like I'm the step parent, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I funny story. 20 years ago, we were together
Yeah.
and we had a cat and we were engaged and we bought a house
Yeah.
and um we were like it was like we were best friends. We were really best friends. There was drama all around us, right? Because we were 20 something lesbians and that's just comes with the territory.
It does.
So
Yes.
there's like drama all around us, but never between us. And
Yeah.
then and then my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer.
Ouch. Mm.
And I lost my mind mostly.
Yeah.
And I bailed,
Yeah.
quite literally. I just like I packed a duffel bag and left and was like, I can't do this. I can't do this with someone so close to me who knows me so well. Because I'm the oldest of sibling group of 3
Yeah.
and a Leo and a perfectionist. And it was like, you're not allowed to fall apart. I'm not allowed to fall apart. But I was falling
Mm.
apart anyway. Like it was happening, but I was not anyway.
Yeah.
So and but when we were together, we did have conversation that was like, okay, my dream was to be a superstar, right?
Yes.
And I was teaching. And her job was to be a NICU nurse and a
Hmm.
mom.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how are we going to do that? Because if we have a family, I can't be on the road all the time. And I know what it's going to take. Like once I had my CD release and I had the taste of this idea that I could actually do this,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be, and probably not making a lot of money. Like this, it's not, I knew that if I was doing music, then I wouldn't be home for my family.
Right.
That was not okay with me. And then, well, then if I had a family, then I couldn't be on the road and doing the music. And that didn't feel right either. So and that's not why we split up. There was some conversations we had. And then my mom got sick and we separated and I chose music because now, I was like, well, that's it. That's what I will do.
Mm.
Because I don't have to worry about anybody else.
Yep.
And that was a deal breaker for me.
Hmm.
I wouldn't date someone if they had kids at home because I was like, no,
Yeah.
you're going to
Yeah.
do more for me than I can give. And I'm not prepared to do that. And so fast forward 20 years, when I've been saying for 20 years, I don't want kids. Mm-mm. I don't want kids. I have no business growing a human, is what I would say. I was like, mm-mm.
Yeah,
And there's layers to that too, of
of
course.
course.
I
Yeah.
found in therapy, like, I don't want to screw it up and I don't want kids because,
We all screw it
anyway,
up.
So 20 years later, Stephanie,
Yeah.
ends up in my hometown
Nice.
where I live. Okay, our whole relationship, meeting, dating, separation, where she's from is not anywhere close to Vandalia, right?
Yeah.
My hometown. But she happened to date or marry her ex, another woman from Vandalia.
Yeah.
And I knew that, but they weren't living in Vandalia. And then after the pandemic, or not after the pandemic, but somewhere in there, my dad and my sister saw her at Walmart. And I was like, what? And we'd both been living in the same town for like a year and a half and didn't know.
Wow.
And now then I was single at that time, and she had separated from her ex and she had her own house. And so I just called her up to be like, hey, you want to go get coffee? Because we hadn't talked to each other in damn near 20 years
Wow.
because our partners,
Yeah.
There's some people out, they just wouldn't, I wasn't even allowed to say my ex's names. Like, it was a thing. And
Wow.
so she
Insecurities.
was like, yeah, let's get coffee. And I went over to visit her, and it was just like,
Coming home.
yeah. I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
But she got 5 kids. What are you trying to do, universe? Oh my God. Like, how am I gonna, what the? And so I was already, I haven't been playing a lot out. This has been 2 years ago. So we're still kind of pandemic-y kind of.
Yeah.
And I got attached mostly. And I saw her write out a check for childcare for one of, and I was like, do you pay that much every time you go to work? And she said,
Yeah.
yeah. Childcare for 5 kids is a lot for a 12-hour shift, which turned into 15 hours always,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, we're not doing that anymore. No, I'll watch them. It's fine. I make my own schedule. I got this, and just dove in head first. And if those kids don't bring me face to face with all my stuff,
That's their job.
I'm just standing toe to toe with myself, like it. And that parenting thing, that is the self work. Because
It is.
I've practiced, I would say, for the last 15 years at least, conscious living. And, attempting at conscious relationship with everyone I have relationship with. And I thought I had it down pretty good, right?
Add children to the mix.
And I'm dealing with my inner child and things that I thought I'd already put to bed, things that I've approached. I don't deny anything in my life.
Yeah.
What bad that's happened to me or bad that I've done to others. Like yes, I have been all of that.
Yeah, we all have.
So I felt like I'd touched on all those things, that I'd gone through that, and I can, no, I didn't. Not all of it. Those kids, I'll tell you what, and the trauma that I had as a child that I didn't realize was trauma until I see the look on their face when I say what my dad said to me or something, because it's just automatic. Then I'm like, whoa, that didn't work out. Oh, crap. I apologize to them all of the time.
All the time.
All of the time. Where I'm like, I lost my cool, man. And I'm sorry. And I tell them, I'm like, look, I'm new at this too. And we're just going to get through this together.
Nice.
And I give them input on how things should run, because I tell them, I'm like, we're a team.
Yep.
We're a team, and everyone has a position to play. Okay, and they're not all going to be the same. And because we have a 14-year-old on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
We have one's turning 12 next week, a boy turning 12, another boy 9 with developmental disabilities. He was adopted, shaken
Yeah.
baby, some serious, and then 7-year-old twins.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, like no, it is. It's never boring,
No, it
and
wouldn't be.
which is important for me because I need variety in my life. I didn't know that,
And you
and
got it.
they bring it.
You know what I love about children is the way they touch the essence of us in such a way as to reveal whatever's ready to be healed.
Yes.
And if we can breathe into that,
That if you can stay conscious to that, yeah.
stay conscious to it, right? Breathe into
Yeah.
it. I shared in the other show, Spirit Cafe, about my son when he was 14, and I'm praying and praying and praying. I got my whole class of ministerial students praying for him to change, and then I woke up and went, oh crap, I'm the one who needs to change. And I found a book called Kids Are Worth It by Barbara
Oh.
Coloroso, and she talked about there's natural reasonable consequences to every action.
Mm.
And so what I started doing was I stopped grounding, I stopped yelling, I stopped all that stuff. And I said, here's what we're doing moving forward. And there'll be natural, reasonable consequences. And sometimes, they would do something and I'd go, okay, I'm really feeling angry right now. And I don't want to, spew that on you. So I'm going to go away for an hour max and I'm going to come back because I want to deal with this and then come up with some kind of reasonable consequence to what has occurred here.
Mm-hmm.
And it works so well. It's the hardest work I've ever done.
Seriously. And I do the same thing because I just, oh man, I
There's the
see the
book.
look on their face,
Yeah.
when something comes up, and I remember, like, I don't have kids. I didn't bore any children.
Right.
But I remember being a kid.
Yes.
I remember I have a steel trap. Like when my memories come up, when my sister's like, "Oh, you remember the Smurfs?" I'm like, "Yeah, I remember the Smurfs."
Yes, I remember.
But I don't just remember the Smurfs. I remember. I can feel we had a huge braided oval rug of browns and oranges, and it's like probably like typical for 80s. Okay.
Yeah.
Braided rug. I feel that under my elbows. I can smell it. I can hear my mom talking on the phone behind me. I know where all the furniture is and the console sitting on the floor of the Smurfs. Like that's how I remember things. So I remember a lot. And so as I go back to deconstruct myself, and I get really honest with what I was experiencing and how I was feeling, instead of this story that I tell, that I've told my whole life about my family and how things went. Like, because we screwed up. We're a great family, but we say we put the fun in dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Because we screw it up, but we always come back and be like, okay.
Yeah.
I really screwed up the execution on that, and if we could just redo that and whatever, like when my mom died, because we were a close family before then, close-ish, yeah. But when she died, I think we all went to our own corners and licked our wounds for about a year, because I don't remember what anyone else was doing for that year after my mom died, and they don't know what I was going, it kind of just went, we all just went, and then, about a year later or so, we were like, okay, let's come out of our hole for a second, and we got even closer.
Yeah.
So we've experienced that loss in a way that so when things come up, there's nothing that we can say or do that is worth just cutting you off.
Exactly.
We lost mom. We are not going to do that intentionally to each other.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
beautiful, Summer.
that's
I love that.
so we've had the discussion, my brother and sister and I, and my dad, that,
Yeah.
hey, no, there's nothing, because you are my past and my present, and you'll be my future. Like,
Yeah.
and this is only because they're generally really good people.
Of
Okay, I
course.
don't
Yeah.
advocate staying in your family just because they're family,
No,
right?
no, I
I
agree
I
with you.
don't. I don't. And
Yeah.
there's plenty of my family that are just relatives,
Yes.
right? They're not family, they're relatives.
Hmm.
But my immediate family, we do all right, and
That's nice.
we're there for each other. And I didn't realize, like, because I'm on the road a lot,
Yeah.
so I didn't get to go to the birthday parties and stuff. We'd get together when I came home for any amount of time, but now I'm home a lot and I have these kids, right? And
Yeah.
man, my family shows
Oh,
up. They just do. Like, if we have something to do, my sister's like, well, what we got to do? I'm here to help. Or they'll,
nice.
if we can't do it, like there was when Stephanie and the kids were moving out of her house and moving into my house.
Yeah.
um it was very hard. Stephanie, had some trauma around that as well, and she just was like, and working, 12 to 15 hour shifts and five
Yeah.
kids, and I did some shows or whatever. We
Yeah.
just came home one weekend and my sister and my brother did it for us. They
Mm.
literally, I just threw that. I'm like, whoa! They literally went in and was like, hey, we finished it for you. What?
Wow.
You're like, you were overwhelmed. We are so, and my family loves Stephanie. Have
Well,
always loved Stephanie. So when we got back together after 20
oh, they
years,
were
the whole
happy.
family was like,
Yay.
yes! Like, she was the only one that they loved that much. And my mom just, when we broke up, my mom just cried and cried and cried. And I should
Oh,
have known then, but and we've decided now that 20 years later, this is perfect, because we needed to work out some stuff. Like, we were young lesbians. We're
yeah.
dumb, broke, and definitely not living a conscious living. I learned
Of
about that
course.
later. And so I was like, I'm actually kind of grateful that I didn't have to learn all that stuff and, take with you, because you're the last person that
Yeah.
I would want to go through that shit with. Like, I don't, it just is, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
And when we were together 20 years ago and talked about a family, I just said, you can't do both. Well, how lucky am I that I get another chance?
Yeah.
Because we come back together 20 years later. She's a NICU nurse and a mom.
Yeah.
Dream, check. We come back 20 years later and I'm a rock star. Check.
Check. Yeah.
So we did it. We came
Yeah.
back together, and now I'm like, oh, I think I can do both at this point.
I can do this.
I
Wow.
can do both. And what are the chances that I get, like, that I can
Everything.
do both, that I get another chance, that I
Yeah.
get, it's wow. It's just wow.
It is wow. And what I love about your story, Summer, is that, there's never a point where we go, oh, well, that's it, it's done. In every moment, there's possibility, there's opportunity. And I
All
learned a long time
possibilities
ago,
exist all of the time.
all the time, and never say never.
Ugh, well, I know that now.
Me
I was
too.
like, oh my gosh, this is all my fault. It's
I
all
had
my
my
fault.
youngest child at age 48.
What?
I was 48 when my youngest was born.
Are
And
you serious?
I'm serious.
That's amazing.
I know, it's the best. And what's funny is my youngest son, who I had when I was 25, he is, after I had him, got tubes tied. I went, I ain't having any more kids. No more, never having any more kids. And then I did.
What the
Then I
heck?
did. I know, my angel baby. It's like, it's,
For
one of
sure.
these beautiful miracles that happen, that we get a chance to be a parent when we're better prepared to be a parent. Because you're
Yes.
probably better
For
prepared
sure.
today
Yes. Yeah.
than you were at
I
20.
guarantee you,
Yeah.
10 years ago, definitely not 20 years ago. 10
Yeah,
years
for
ago, still wouldn't have been
sure.
ready. I can't
Yeah.
say that I'm ready now. I
You know
cannot.
what? We
But
never
it's
are. But
happening. It's
yeah,
happening. Here we are, and all
yeah.
is well.
And all is well. Oh, I love that. Well, we're right at the end of our show.
Oh my
The time,
goodness.
I know,
I'm
it
a
just flies.
yapper. I love it.
Oh, I know. I love this. Um, in about a minute, what is the one thing you want everybody to know moving forward in their lives?
Oh, you did not come here to fix a broken world. You came here to learn to love yourself.
Ah, Summer. Mm, yes.
That's what I'm
Yes.
working on now.
Yeah,
Because
me
I thought
too.
I thought I came to save the world.
You
And
know,
I
I
put
think we
all of
all
it out
crave
there,
it. Mm,
outside of myself. And I
yeah.
didn't come to fix a broken world. We came to learn to love ourselves.
And you know what? That's the story from the book of Job, where he was praying for everybody because everybody's broken, everybody's flawed, everything's got to be fixed. He's praying, 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 and then slam. And it was in the moment when he came to his spiritual awakening that he went, all is well.
All is well.
All is well, right?
Well, I'm
It's
gonna have
that.
to revisit that. Look, I haven't
Well, you know what?
I
I'm not
haven't
a
I
Bible
haven't picked
scholar.
up that part. I haven't picked up a Bible.
Yeah, well, I don't read the Bible, don't teach the Bible, but the book of Job is one that I
But I
think is
like
it's
yeah,
every
I
human's
like
journey,
the I
the
think it's a
metaphysical.
great guidebook.
It is.
A
It's just talking
guide.
about the evolution of humanity.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
it. In
And
story and metaphor, right?
yes, and
So we have
parables
to
and yes.
yeah, we have to
It's a
unpack it.
great novel.
Oh my God. It's got murder, it's got
I
sex, it's got,
know.
you name it, it's there.
Lesbians even.
I know. They exist. They
I know.
exist. Who
I
knew?
know.
Well, this has been an absolute joy. I cannot wait to be at your show tonight because I
Yay. Oh,
know
I'm so glad you're coming.
yeah, you just change the energy in the room, you lift it, you move it, and you create something beautiful. And I hope everybody goes on your website, buys your CDs, download your MP3s, whatever you got on there, because your music is speaking truth to stupid.
Thank you.
And you know what? We need to be reminded because we forget that we're created perfect, whole, and complete,
For
that
sure.
each one of us is unique and special. And that uniqueness can be shunned by the world as weird, stupid, awful, blah, who are you? And we have to integrate that what other people label as bad and wrong. We have to
Oh
integrate
yeah.
that to know
Oh, I think
that's
we're in the middle of that. I think we're in it. It's the spiritual revolution.
I know. I love that tattoo. That's fantastic. I need to get one of those. Mine are
Yeah.
in other places, but I love that spiritual revolution.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, my answer to everything is love. Love is the answer. Doesn't matter what the question is. And I love you, you
I
beautiful,
love
incredible
you.
musician. And thank you for being on the Joy Show.
Thank you.
And I will see you tonight. And for everybody watching, be sure to go to summerosborne.com, check out her music, everything she's doing, and you will be blessed, I can assure you. Thank you for watching the Joy Show on the New Thought Media Network. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network, come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.